Well, I feel like I have a hangover and I don't drink at all. I was up all night, but fortunately, I have the day off today, so I don't have to deal with um, going to work and listening to politics, though I don't really think anybody would actually talk about the election. But it appears that even though it's razor thin numbers, it appears that Joe Biden will be the 46th president of the United States. I don't want to jinx it, and because you never know what's going to happen. But I was up all night, and it appeared that he had Arizona flipped for him, and then Nevada, I was sure, and it's still, I guess it won't be official for a couple of days, but Nevada will likely go Biden too. And then Michigan and Wisconsin, Biden took the lead from Trump during the night, and he's whittling down Pennsylvania and Georgia. Georgia still has reportedly 400,000 votes. This is as of about 7:30 Pacific Standard Time left to count. So there's still hundreds of thousands of votes out there that still haven't been counted, and they're trending blue. So it looks like Biden has this one. It appears. I shouldn't even say anything. I should just wait till it's all official, because I worry that, I worry that I'm going to jinx it. But that's the good news. The bad news, and well, presumably good news. And of course, the bad news is the Democrats didn't take the Senate. That was a tall order. And I would agree with some people who say that too much money was wasted on South Carolina and Kentucky races. Because the fact is, the biggest factor in winning elections like that is whether you're an incumbent or, whether you are the incumbent, a deeply entrenched incumbent. And the only way Mitch McConnell is going to leave the United States Senate is in a pine box. Let's be honest. That's the only way he's going to get out of there. Because Kentuckians, they hate his guts. They hate him. They love Trump, but they absolutely hate McConnell's guts. But they keep voting him in. Name recognition. Name recognition. And it's always on the whatever you want to say, the case has to be made by the challenger why voters should fire an incumbent politician. And they didn't have strong enough candidates there. Democrats, they didn't have a strong candidate there. They didn't in Tennessee, which was an open seat. It could have been one if they'd had somebody that had been a governor or was a current governor, or somebody that was in the U.S. House of Representatives, somebody that had experience. And in South Carolina, I knew that was a crapshoot, because old Lindsey Graham's been there since, Strom Thurmond's been dead for 18 years. He used the Senate as a nursing home. So he was like 100 and, oh God, I think he was 101 or something when he died, or 102. I think he died in 2002 or 3. I'm not going to look it up. I'm too damn lazy and tired. But anyway, Lindsey Graham took that seat. So he's entrenched in there. He's the same age I am. So he might be in there another 30 years. At the rate things are going. But you just don't waste time on people like that, trying to oust them, unless you have a candidate that's a governor or that's been in the U.S. House of Representatives and has an organization, a political organization, that they can pull off an upset. So that was, and of course what's going to happen, Biden will get in there, and this damn thing, this worthless Mitch McConnell, he's going to obstruct everything. That's what he did with Obama, and he's going to do the same damn thing with Biden. And so like I said, and it's a terribly awful thing, it's a terrible thing to say, but his death, meaning McConnell's, can't come soon enough. Because that's the only way he's getting out of there. He's a piece of shit. And my understanding is he was a Democrat at one time, long ago, and I believe his ex-wife and his kids are Democrats. But somehow, I guess where the money was, probably the bigger bucks or whatever, McConnell changed and became a Republican. And now I used to think Bob Dole years ago, when he was the Senate leader, that he was kind of, you know, oh, what? Yeah, he was just a little too partisan, and he was a little too much on the take. But, you know, he was a saint compared to this thing. I mean, this thing, God, he's just useless, McConnell. So anyway, that's that. And I guess Democrats lost a few House seats, but they still have control of the House. But like I said, there's good news, and I got the camera pointed on Stacey Abrams, and this was recent. And she said, this was referring to Georgia, she says local elections officials are taking the time necessary to make sure every eligible vote is counted. Trump is losing and trying to crown himself the winner. Yeah, he did that last night after Biden talked. Voters choose the future. We fought for fairer elections, and it's working. We expected all this. Now comes the hard part. Wait and don't panic. We can see the path to victory running from north to south. So Biden may pull off an upset in Georgia. But another thing Democrats are probably going to have to quit doing, and that's spending an outsized amount of money on Florida. And I had heard someplace that Florida, the Republican Party there is the best organized in the country. But that too much money was wasted there. And it's kind of a lost cause right now. So, not spend money on places that you can win. So like the Rust Belt, spend more funding there. And yeah, even states like Georgia and North Carolina, even if meaning the Democrats, don't take that state. Because I think it's colored red now. I'm not going to look at the maps. Too scared to. But, you know, states like that, or Arizona and Nevada, you know, put the money in where we have a track record. But Florida it's been shot to shit since 2000. And, I mean, I think Obama might have won there once or twice. But generally, it's kind of a waste of time. Texas was pretty good showing, too. And maybe in a couple of elections that'll change. But don't spend money on places that are just not worth spending money on. And then and a couple of more things I want to suggest for Democrats or for so-called progressives. Stop with this goddamn stupid identity shit, identity politics shit, trying to police language. Stop that crap. Stop pushing bills that are ruinous for women, especially, like the Equality Act, which is not going to go anywhere now unless it's rewritten. Stop pushing stuff like that. And also, Black Lives Matter needs to do an inward reflection of how vastly polarizing it can be. I mean, they're sincere. Don't get me wrong. They're sincere with the marches and stuff, but it was overkill. And I attribute that to the inexperience, the youth and inexperience of the people that are running the organization. But there was no reason to do, you know, George Floyd protests for 5 months. You know, a couple of weeks would have made the point. And it was too easily rat-fucked. We saw what happened, excuse my language, we saw what happened in Portland with all that garbage that went on there. So they need to cool it. I know that's an awful thing to say. And another thing they need to shut the hell up about is about defunding the police or abolishing the police or abolishing prisons. That is pie-in-the-sky horse shit. And all that does is help the other side. So shut the hell up about stupid things that will never come to pass, okay? And divisive things. And another thing Dems need to do, and this would be in the House of Representatives, but people like AOC and Ilhan Omar and that Tlaib or whatever the hell her name is, but that the squad women, at least 3 of the 4, I think Presley is not such a factor there, but those other 3 are idiots. They have no concept of how you get things done in Congress, and they need to be listening to people that have had the experience in Congress. And so that needs to stop too. I'm sure it's not going to happen, you know. They're going to let them run off the mouth, but all that does, every time you get somebody like an AOC who's a dipshit. Oh, I heard she graduated magna cum laude from Boston University. That doesn't mean crap to me. She's an idiot. But every time they let her run off at the mouth, more and more people flip Republican. And she's every bit as divisive in her way as that orange-haired shithead that's in the White House now. And no, I don't think there's going to be massive race wars or any of that stuff. But I do think the country is, I think, irredeemably divided. I don't think there's any way to branch that. The only hope is that these people die out that are so pro-fascist or authoritarian that they just gradually die out. Or the country is just it's gonna dissolve. And I'd hate to see that, and I may be still alive to see it, but there's such a gap there. There's nothing you can do. So I don't want to hear Bernie Sanders or Michael Moore going around yapping, oh, we've got to cater to these, and it's mostly the white males without a college degree. Not so much the white females, it's the white dudes. But we need to get their votes. We need to pander to the rurals. You can't pander to them. And thanks to the repeal of the Fairness Doctrine, one of the single worst developments in the history of the United States, thanks to that repeal in 1987, these people are now in a completely and totally different universe. Totally different universe. They're thoroughly propagandized. And there's no helping them. So anyway, I'm going to cross my fingers, and Joe Biden will be the 46th president, but there's a hell of a lot to be done, and I'm not sure it can be fixed.